The World in Which Nothing is Solved by Emil Cioran. Is there anything on earth which cannot be doubted except death, the only certainty in this world? To doubt and yet to live, this is a paradox, though not a tragic one, since doubt is less intense, less consuming than despair. Abstract doubt, in which one participates only partially, is more frequent, whereas in despair one participates totally and organically. Not even the most organic and serious forms of doubt ever reach the intensity of despair. In comparison with despair, skepticism is characterized by a certain amount of dilettantism and superficiality. I can doubt everything. I may very well smile contemptuously at the world, but this will not prevent me from eating, from sleeping peacefully, and from marrying. In despair, whose depth one can only fathom by experiencing it, such actions are possible only with great effort. On the heights of despair, nobody has the right to sleep. Thus, a genuinely desperate man cannot forget his own tragedy. His consciousness preserves the painful actuality of his subjective torment. Doubt is anxiety about problems and things, and has its origin in the unsolvable nature of all big questions. If such questions could be solved, the skeptic would revert to more normal states. The condition of the desperate man in this respect is utterly different. If all problems were solved, he would not be any less anxious, since the anxiety arises out of his own subjective existence. Despair is the state in which anxiety and restlessness are imminent to existence. Nobody in despair suffers from problems, but from his own inner torment and fire. It's a pity that nothing can be solved in this world. Yet there never was and never will be anyone who would commit suicide for this reason. So much for the power that intellectual anxiety has over the total anxiety of our being. That is why I prefer the dramatic life, consumed by inner fires and tortured by destiny, to the intellectual, caught up in abstractions which do not engage the essence of our subjectivity. I despise the absence of risks, madness, and passion in abstract thinking. How fertile, live, passionate thinking is. Lyricism feeds it like blood pumped into the heart. It is interesting to observe the dramatic process by which men, originally preoccupied with abstract and impersonal problems, so objective as to forget themselves, come to reflect upon their own subjectivity and upon existential questions once they experience sickness and suffering. Active and objective men do not have enough inner resources to make an interesting problem of their own destiny. One must descend all the circles of an inner hell to turn one's destiny into a subjective yet universal problem. If you are not burned to ashes, you will then be able to philosophize lyrically. Only when you do not deign even to despise this world of unsolvable problems will you finally come to achieve a superior form of personal existence. And this will be so not because you have any special value or excellence, but because nothing interests you beyond your own personal agony.